Hey everyone, welcome to I Love a Hoarder, an upbeat look at hoarding disorder. I'm your host, Chutney Whye, a licensed acupuncturist who has spent the past 25 years treating addictions, anxiety, and all flavors of misery. And when called upon, I also do hoarding cleanups. But enough about me. How about that universe, huh? Friends, this week the universe whispered something I did not expect. Turns out, not everyone needs help. Some just want to be seen. I know. Wild, right? And here's how the universe sent me that message. Every Tuesday, my dear eccentric partner, Ding Ding, and I go to this little Asian market just east of Monterey Park. If you live in LA, you may know the one. It's sandwiched between a reflexology place with a giant disintegrating plastic foot and a locksmith that has a crystal chandelier and a lady in a tube top leaning in the doorway. Anyway, we love it there. The produce is fresh, the staff is suspicious of me in just the right way, and every week we see her. Ruby. We don't know her name yet, we just call her that now. The woman with the rolling cart. Asian like Ding Ding, older but not old. She's heavy-set, and you can tell that moving, just walking, takes effort. Her knees tremble a bit. She leans into the cart like it's part lifeline, part propulsion, and yet she smiles. Smiles every time, like she's seeing someone she's been looking for forever. For all her physical challenges, she's somehow radiant. Her eyes sparkle. She calls out to Ding Ding from across the freezer aisle. "Hi, so pretty today." And Ding Ding, eternally young in her flowery pink jeans and white high tops, glows when she hears it. They always have this moment. An exchange of hellos, maybe a shared laugh about the price of scallops or who's hoarding all the frozen jackfruit. And then they part. Ruby stops, as she always does, for 2 bags of ice as she works her way to the checkout. I never thought about it much until 3 weeks ago when I saw Ruby getting out of the van. The van. It's old, beige, dented, sitting in a far corner of the parking lot. No windows in the back, and it is full. Full! Packed to the ceiling with bags, boxes, and bins of stuff, clothes, papers, a small fan wedged sideways in the windshield, and a big ice chest, which explained the bags of ice. Every time we saw her, she was buying food and 2 bags of ice. I remember thinking, that ice isn't for drinks, it's to keep her food cold. I looked at Ding Ding, and I could tell she had come to the same conclusion. She went very, very still, which, if you know Ding Ding, is rare. As always, Ding Ding and Ruby chatted in the market, but something in our hearts had changed. That night, we did a Google search, and we found some pretty alarming statistics. Are you ready for these numbers? As of this year, over 75,000 people are unhoused in Los Angeles County. Nationwide, over 650,000, and rising. Not all of them sleep on sidewalks. Some live in vans, parked near markets, smiling at strangers. We talked about it that night at dinner. Ding Ding was quiet at first, but I could feel it stirring in her, that tornado of empathy. She looked at me, and she said very softly, "Chutney, I wonder what her story is. Where's her family, and why don't they care? We have to help her. I'll figure out a way." Now, how do I say this gently? Ding Ding is beautiful, wild, and infinitely generous. She's also a stage 1, maybe stage 2, hoarder, which, let's be honest, isn't as cute as it sounds. That's when towers of stuff start to pile up, and just moving through the room becomes a challenge. I'm keeping Ding Ding at level 2 because at level 3 you start to smell things like old food, and that's more than I think I could bear. We keep a room in the house where, well, let's just say Ding Ding's hoarding lives in one room. Her sanctuary of chaos, where clutter grows wild and free, a jungle of memories and mess that she guards fiercely. It's a dump. And if I touch a single item inside that room, Ding Ding goes into full meltdown. And so, for Ding Ding, helping people often involves 10 bags of groceries, a gift certificate to Costco, and an invitation to a Reiki circle led by a Brazilian drag queen named Citronella. So I said, Ding Ding, we don't know Ruby's story, and so we can't assume anything about her. And then she whispered, but we can be her friend? And I said, yes, we can be there. We can say hi. We can bear witness. Because maybe, just maybe, that's what she needs more than anything. Not to be saved, just to be seen. Last Tuesday, after seeing Ruby at the market, I happened to drive by her van on the way out. And there she was with her cart piled high. I slowed down, preparing to offer our help. But as I rolled down my window, I heard a pop tune from the 60s blaring out of Ruby's van, and I watched as she loaded her groceries, swinging gently back and forth and singing full-throatedly. Ruby was having a moment of happiness. And that's when Ding Ding and I realized we needed her resilience more than she needed our pity. It seemed ironic to me. I'm always talking about hoarding and being buried by too much stuff. But Ruby's life seems pretty well pared down to only what she can carry. Somehow it's she who seems lighter. So, next week, we're bringing Ruby a folding chair with an umbrella and a pack of Ding Ding's famous lemon shrimp crackers and some chilled salmon. And maybe she'll invite us to sit with her. And if she does, we'll accept. Not because we want to rescue her, not for any kind of pity. We just don't want her to eat cold sashimi in a hot van. I figure it's not our job to rescue people who may or may not want the help. Maybe it's not even our job to understand them. Everybody has their own story. Some people want to tell it, some don't. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's enough to just occupy the same big old planet for a little while and be happy together. Friends, thank you for joining me today. You're probably running into people like Ruby every day who don't have a place to call home. It's invisible homelessness, and it's everywhere. So keep a lookout like the good people I know you are. I'm Chutney Whye, and this is I Love a Hoarder.